Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and in this video I thought I would share with you my 5 favorite yarns. I kind of thought of it like a Christmas kind of video, like your favorite things, but I thought I'll just, in case any of you were wondering what my favorite yarns were, this is what I'll show you. Okay, so the first one that I'm just talking about, not in any particular order, do I like one of these better than the other? Well, maybe. But is Yarn Bee Glowing. I found this yarn on one of those big yarn clearances one time, and I scooped up some, and I made a hat with it, which I thought I would show you, and I just loved how this yarn worked up in the variegated colors, how it goes together, but it still had some distinctive striping. It came up nice with the striping. I really loved it. So here on out, whenever Hobby Lobby has a clearance, I always look for some of that yarn, and I buy a lot of it. And I send it out usually to my Europe and Australian and overseas friends in swap baskets because I love it so much and they don't have Hobby Lobbies. Hobby Lobby yarn, this skein of Glowing is $5.49, but like I said, I usually get them on clearance, and I got like 6 of them last year, because last spring, for $1.37. It's a worsted weight yarn, and it's 60% acrylic and 48% polyester, and it calls for a 5.5 hook. I've used a 5 to a 6. I really love the color combos that they have for this. I don't remember what this one was called. This one is more of a pink multi, and then I thought I had a lighter color one. I must have stashed it. I don't see it up there. I have a couple more right here. But yes, I just love this Glowing. That's what it's called. Yarn Bee Glowing. So the next yarn that I thought I would show you guys is one of my all-time favorite yarns. It never disappoints. Is Caron Simply Soft. I love Caron Simply Soft, and I love to use it for baby stuff. I don't particularly like working with really thin yarns. I'm a crocheter. I mean, DK is really as thin as I would like to use. And so I really have loved, when I first started teaching myself how to crochet, I really liked making like baby sweaters and baby booties and baby dresses and baby blankets with Caron Simply Soft. Because I felt like, and this is when I only bought yarn at Walmart, because I didn't even really know about the world of yarn at that point. I just like how soft it was, and how I felt like it was super soft for a baby versus, you know, Red Heart, or how I liked the worsted weight versus like some of the baby stuff. And it is kind of a thinner worsted weight yarn. Now, I will say a lot of people do complain that Caron Simply Soft splits, and occasionally it does. But I found when I first started crocheting, I was using like a $10 set of ergonomic hooks I got off of Amazon. But when I switched to only using Clover Amours or my tulips, I had very little problem with splitting. And I'm not going to blame it exclusively on those hooks. I just think that the heads of these crochet hooks are just so perfect that they don't catch as much, which then eliminates the amount of splitting. You still occasionally get some, but it's, to me, not a big deal. And I made myself a king-size coverlet with this. I followed a Bella Coco tutorial like 2 years ago. And it is on here way in the early videos. And I use that coverlet every 2 summers now. And it is, I mean, there's a little wear and tear. Obviously, it's on my bed. But it's still in really great condition. The Caron Simply Soft yarn has really stood to the test of time. 2 years. So, now you can get this yarn pretty much at any store. I've seen it at Michael's, Joann's, Walmart. That's pretty much, Hobby Lobby does not carry Caron Simply Soft. I've seen them anywhere from $3.99, $2.49, $3.49, depending on the sale. Sometimes you can get 4 for $20 or maybe 4 for $10. You can get them on sale anytime at Joann and Michael's. Typically Walmart won't have them on sale, but they'll have the regular solid colors for $2.99, and the variegated ones for $3.49. So it's a very reasonable yarn. You can buy, you know, a bunch of these and make a decent sized blanket. Currently right now, I got this, which I had never seen. It's called Madison Avenue. I had not seen this at my Walmart or Joann's. And to me, it kind of looks like Starry Night. I am making a baby blanket with this one right now. And I just love it. In fact, this gave me the idea. I was like, I love this yarn so much. I want to make a video and tell everyone that I love it. So I thought, well, let's just talk about your favorite yarns. Yeah, and I think it's really working out real cute. I'm going to make, this is the Rainbow Ripple blanket. I'm going to make this and donate it to Christ Child Society with another baby blanket. I have 3 skeins of that, and I think they'll be fine. So that is one of my favorites, is Caron Simply Soft. Another one I have, which is a new yarn for me. The first one I got was from Madonna Ballard, and then my my swap that I just did with Lauren, she gave me 2 more of these. I love this. This is a DK weight yarn, I believe. Yes, it's size 3. And it says it's anti-pilling and try to find here acrylic yarn, 100% anti-pilling acrylic, 237 yards. Now, I have never actually purchased this one of these on my own. But I do remember when I was going to buy some more, and I didn't because I just said, you have so much going on, Summer, just relax. I did see somewhere that I could get, I think I looked on Amazon or something, I could get them for like $5 or $6 a ball. So I've seen anywhere from like $5.60, $6.30, $6.99 for these anti-pilling balls. And on when I looked it up online, it said Joann's. I have not seen this at my Joann's though, but we have a very small store. I rarely go to Michael's because it's not in the same town. They definitely do not have this at Hobby Lobby, and they don't have it at my Walmart. But you can get them online. It's a Premier yarn, so you could even go to their website, Premier Luna. And this yarn is just beautiful. Some of my favorite colors, teals and blues. I'm actually making, I'm wondering if it's in the mess of this down here, a Secret Path shawl with this. I ran out. I used, I want to say 3 or 4. I thought that was going to be enough, but I needed 2 more. So I love the Luna Premier yarn. So that's my 3rd favorite yarn as of now. My 4th favorite is a cake. I got this by chance. I was at the Hirschner's warehouse sale with Deb from Knittin' Deb's Nook. And they had a beautiful shawl hanging up, and they had a pattern, and I was going to buy it as a kit, but I didn't like that color. And this yarn I have seen from $5.99 to $6.99 a skein, but I got really lucky, and somebody had posted in my group that Lion Brand was selling this stuff for $5 a skein. So I bought a whole bunch, and then, I want to say, did I get one in a swap box just recently? Maybe this also was from Laura. And then one of my yarn friends who watches his videos, she sent me a couple. I just love this stuff. And I currently, and I do have this easy to find, I have been making the Lion Brand faded or shaded color shawl. This. I just love how this yarn works up. It's really nice because it's a super thin cotton that has 4 thin threads twisted together. And as it changes from one color to the next, it's the number of threads of that color that change. So you might start with 4 purple, and then it goes to 3 purple and a lighter one, 2 purple and a lighter one, 1 purple and 3 lighter ones. And it just changes. And so it really gives it that shaded, faded look. I love it. I have made 3 shawls with this. I need to get cracking on them because I wanted to give them to all the sister-in-laws for Christmas, and I'm not far along. But this is a cotton yarn. Is it 100% cotton? No, 50% acrylic, 50% cotton. This has 437 yards in this little cake. This is a fine yarn, a 2. Now, I will say, you need to be careful with this because when this yarn tangles up, it is a disaster because of all the strands. Do you kind of see that? How they have all those strands and those little threads, when they start getting tangled, you're in a mess. So I don't recommend doing a center pull. I recommend going from the outer side, because once it collapses in on itself, if it gets tangled, you're in trouble. So when I made that shawl, I wanted to go from dark to light and light to dark. So because I wanted to start in the middle, I caked it reverse. So I used my yarn cake over here and I pulled and I made my cake backwards. Just so that I wouldn't have that while you're traveling in your bag, because once it collapses in and you put it in your yarn bag, it's going to be a mess. But it's worth it. It works up so nice. It's such a light. If you're looking to make a beautiful, light, colorful summer shawl to wear with a summer dress, this is the yarn for you. It's beautiful. I love it. I can't say it enough. They have very good variety of colors. They have red and black and purple and blue. Maybe that's all they have. A gray, maybe gray and black. I love them. So I love the Ombre Life. What's this one called? Happy Hour. Love it. Now, the last yarn that I'm going to talk about, I love and have loved for a while. And that is the Caron Cake. Caron Cake was my first yarn, cake yarn that I'd ever heard of. When they came out with all those colors, I was like, oh my God, I love them. I need them all. Now, what I have example of here for you is a Caron Big Cake. My mom gave me one of these for my birthday this year. Caron Cakes, they kind of made a line of them. They have the regular Caron Cakes, which is, I want to say like 80% acrylic and 20% wool. Then they were coming out with these big cakes, which is 100% acrylic and kind of a more rounder twist. And then I don't know if you can see up there in that very top, that kind of that pink cake up there. That is a Caron Big Cake. No, not a big cake, a chunky cake. They have tea cakes, latte cakes, baby cakes, cupcakes. I mean, you name it. Caron is wrapping it up in a cake and calling it something cute. Most of them are acrylic, or mostly acrylic. I think the Caron Cake was the only one that had a little wool in it. The thing that I really like about Caron Cakes, which is kind of like a back and forth, is I like the color combos. I would never go down the yarn aisle and look and put this orange, pinkish orange, brownish, chocolatey brown, and whitish tan together. I wouldn't. And so I love that they have some kind of smart artist out there who's putting together these beautiful color combos. The other thing I like about Caron Cakes, and you can really see that in here, is they have like flecking in the yarn from the different rounds. See how there's a little bit of pink there, there's a little bit of the brown there, and I like that. I think it just looks cool, I guess. Now, the one thing that I don't love about Caron Cakes, which is about any cake, whether it be Lion Brand, mandalas, Caron Cake, twist cakes, cupcakes, sugar wheels, sweet wheels, all the kind of wheels you can think of, is I don't like when color changes happen in the middle of a row. I was going to see if I could find one here. Kind of, this one here is a gray, and then you go to the next shell, it's a blue. I don't like that. I feel like, and I know this seems judgmental, and it's only to myself, is I feel like it sometimes looks a little sloppy. But I do love that you don't have to change yarns. You don't have to snip your end, weave in another one, and go. It just comes off of the big cake. So, I mean, it really has, it's really a horse apiece, right? I mean, so sometimes I just suck it up, and if the color change falls in a great place, I just leave it, usually at the points or the corners, and I don't fuss about it too much. But there has been times where, I've cut out where if it starts to change in the middle of the row, I'll go all the way back to the beginning, cut it, and start with the new color there. Yeah, I know. And a lot of people don't like that. I always see in the comments, like, why don't you just buy the yarn? And I'm telling you, the reason is because these like multicolored cakes are perfectly matched for each other. The tones go together, the continuity of these like flecking go together. They're just great, and it's convenient. Grab a cake. You can, to be fair, if you're gonna, I made a poncho for myself last year with 2 big cakes. So you grab 2 of these, you got yourself a poncho. Now the pricing for Caron Cakes is varied. I remember them, they can be anywhere from $5.99. This big cake is a $9.99, but they claim there's enough. It's as if you had 2 of the other ones. How many yards is in this sucker? 603 yards. So, but Michael's does oftentimes have sales where you can buy 2, get 1 free, or maybe buy 3, get 1 free. I don't know. You don't see Caron Cakes at Joann's. You won't see them at Walmart. In Wisconsin, or you also won't see them at Hobby Lobby. You pretty much in Wisconsin can only get them at Michael's. Now, I don't know about AC Moore. We don't have that in Wisconsin. So if you live in Midwest, you probably have to go to Michael's, or you can order them online. Usually the shipping and handling and the deals kind of factor into that. But in general, there's so many options of cakes. I just blurted a whole bunch out to you. If you just want the cake, you know, you can get mandalas. You can get those at Walmart and Joann's. You can get the sugar wheels or pinwheels or whatever they are. But I really feel like the Caron Cake was the big leader in the caking industry a couple years ago. And here, this is one of the first shawls I made for myself. I think this one's like lemon meringue, and I just love it. They're so beautiful. This is a virus. No, this is not virus. This is the fluffy meringue. This is Mikey's version, and that's where on, do you see how it has that 3-dimensional look to it? This is made with a Caron Cake, and then on one of these you do back post double crochets or front post, and it kind of gives it that fluffy, that 3-dimensional look. So this is a Mikey tutorial, not a typical virus shawl. And this is one of the first, I made a bunch of these that year. I made one for my mom, one for my mother-in-law, one for me. I just love this. And I loved all the color combos they came out with. Every time I'm like, wow, that's gorgeous. So those are really my favorite yarns to use. Now these are all acrylics. Of course I love Merinos and superwash Merinos. And I think of those as like specialty yarns. If I'm going to make a baby blanket, a hat, a scarf, a poncho, these are typically the yarns I would go for. Caron Cakes, Yarn Bee Glowing, Caron Simply Soft. Those are like my go-to. And, you know, I really love trying new things. I have a lot of Red Heart. Most of this is Red Heart. I don't really use it as much, but I mean, I like it. I use that more for amigurumi dolls. So yeah, I just thought I would share with you my favorite yarns. I'll put links in the description if you were interested in purchasing these off of Amazon. If you live somewhere where you don't have a Michael's or a Joann's, I mean, I'm sure you have a Walmart where you can get the Caron Cake from. But I just thought, you know, if you want, I'll put links in the description to where you can get some of this yarn. And if anything, just to get one and try it and make something with it and like, ooh, I liked it, or all right. So that is this video. Just me talking about some of my favorite yarns. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.